Minimalism. It's not just a philosophy, it's a mindset. Let's strip away the excess and focus on the essence of filmmaking, capturing compelling images with the fewest possible elements. Simplicity can be incredibly powerful. True creativity often thrives in constraint. Let's apply these methodologies to camera rigging, specifically the Red Komodo. Now, we can talk for a long time about the concept, aesthetic of minimalism. In terms of camera rigs and filming, for me, minimalism and a minimalist rig means something that is as pared down, as compact as possible, but is still as functional and practical as I need it. Look, I've got a monitoring system. A secondary monitoring system is absolutely necessary on the Komodo and pretty much all cinema cameras. A top handle, a follow focus system, audio, all of these things are essential for a clean and enjoyable shooting experience for a solo shooter such as myself. And what's also really cool about this rig is that it will work for all of Red's newer cameras. You just have to get different cages for them, but the Komodo X, the Raptor, Raptor X, XL, whatever. And really most cinema cameras that can be controlled and monitored wirelessly and have compact, cube-shaped bodies and, enough mounting points and cages that can be broken down into individual pieces. Let's take a look at how to build this rig, shall we? I will point out first, this guy. This is a Hollyland Mars pop antenna. The original antenna on my Komodo got damaged and the Wi-Fi was just not working properly. I was not able to connect to the Red Control app, so I had to get this replacement antenna, but I gotta say, this guy is a lifesaver. First important piece of this kit is the cage here. This is in pieces and it comes with a nice handy little wrench. You want to make sure that the top area is left alone and is not covered by a cage. So this cage from Small Rig is pretty key in that regard. All right, we've also got our battery attachment. This is going to let us use V-mount batteries. This one from Tilta, and I'm using this Small Rig battery, 99 watt-hour battery that gets over 3 hours of battery life, like 3 to 4 hours of battery life. It's pretty awesome, and I do find it's just generally more functional to use a V-mount battery than those Canon VPU batteries, which only last about an hour and a half each. Okay, and then we've got our monitor, which is going to be an iPad mini. This guy gets up to 500 nits of brightness, so it's not the brightest monitor, but what's awesome about it is that it's totally wireless and insanely light and has crazy good battery life. This is the mount for the monitor. I found this one from Nicey Rig. I've used a lot of iPad mounts before, and this one is by far the best. It has just a little loosening bracket, extends there, and the rubber is really key, really clutch. It keeps the iPad nice and secure so it doesn't slide around and slip out, which I found that almost all the other iPad holders, it would just slip and slide and wouldn't stay secured. Got our top handle here, which is great because it's a NATO rail, so it's an easy slide on and off. We've got some NATO rails a longer and medium length ones that we're going to attach to the side of the cage. We also should mention on the cage, the rosette handle is really important, as well as mounting points, 1/4-20 threads, and NATO rail as well. So this cage really has a lot built into it. This is going to be a 15mm rod mount. This is a mount for attaching the iPad holder to the top handle. And lastly, the outrigger handle for the Komodo. This is a Red branded piece of gear. It's got a start-stop record button there, and it's just really durable and really feels really good. Has this adjustment handle, so you can loosen it and then rotate it to get the perfect angle. It is pretty pricey, I do have to say, but I do find it worth it. I do find the price worth it because you're not going to get a side handle. I don't think there's any other side handles that are, you know, proprietary, that connect directly to the Komodo, so you don't need additional cables, additional pieces. It's just all one piece. Also has that, you know, stop and start functionality. Other side handles that have that stop and start functionality, you're going to need a cable and additional mounting. I do think the outrigger handle is worth the price. Of this is right there where the small rig logo is going to go. You'll notice I've got these little dangling attachments here on the top handle and one of the side cage pieces. Show you guys what that's all about a bit later. There. All right, our cage set. Yeah, this guy just feels so good. NATO rail, this is going to let us attach the top handle. It would be awesome if there was a top handle that could just attach to the outrigger handle, but it's just, outrigger handle is just a little too wide for NATO rails, unfortunately. Horizontal now, and now we can take in. Okay, and now we have our top handle. Okay, we're gonna come back to the top handle in just a minute. Let's attach on our NATO rail on the side here. So this is gonna come into play later on for when we use our follow focus system. Okay. Now we can attach, this will be our rod attachment. And I just love that this setup uses so few tools. Now this tilta, that needs to slot into. Okay. And then battery goes on sideways. That. monitor mount attachment piece. It slides into cold shoe. This guy has like a million mounting points on it. I just absolutely love this iPad holder. Loosen this guy up. Okay. All right, and we'll be using the Red Control app. All right, and there we go, guys. Very clean setup. Let's put a lens on here and good to go. Got the full rig here, and if you're wondering what the were earlier, they connect to this camera strap. Might look a little bit odd, but I'm telling you guys, using a camera strap on a cinema camera, they're not just for small body, mirrorless cameras. Use them on bigger cameras. And, it might not be like one of those easy rigs, right? It's not gonna be that sturdy and that secure, but hey, it's a quick, easy fix, takes strain off of the lower back. And that's something that's very important for me, and actually also important for these minimalist rigs that I'm building. They need to be functional, they need to be practical, but the more I can pare them down, the least number of pieces, parts, wires, cables, all that kind of stuff, the easier it is on me, on the shooting experience, on my back. So if you are working with autofocus lenses and you don't have to worry about audio, or you just want to use the scratch audio in the camera and overdub it later, then you can get away with this setup with no wires. It's pretty amazing. iPad mini, totally wireless. It runs really smoothly, and as long as you have that proper antenna connection, you're going to have a long-lasting wireless monitor that's quite bright. It's so light, the battery is going to outlast the V-mount battery, even though I'm going to get like 3 to 4 hours on this guy. The iPad is going to get like 6, 7, 8 hours maybe, unless you're just running it straight. If you are running audio like I am, like a wireless audio, or you want to throw a microphone, like a more proper shotgun microphone or some kind of audio setup like that, there is a cold shoe mount on the top of the Nicey Rig iPad holder, which is pretty awesome. Then all you need to do is run a single cable to the microphone in port on the Komodo. If we are going to use cinema lenses, that's why we have the 15mm rod mount. Got the motor attached to the rod attached to the rod holder is attached to the rosette mount on the cage. Now I'm just using an older Tilta Nucleus Nano motor here, but the cable, you'd be able to plug that into the V-mount battery. Now the reason I have this NATO rail along the left side of the camera is so that I can attach a follow focus unit that uses a NATO rail system. This Tilta Nano 2 hand wheel, the DJI Focus Pro, that also uses a NATO rail system. Now I've got a way to control the focus on my manual focus or cinema lens, and it's all using one single cable to power the motor. And if I've got audio, that's going to be a single cable to the microphone in port. So at most, guys, you can run this setup with 2 cables. Any way that I can cut down on additional batteries, additional cables, I'm all for it. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.